Okay, I feel like I kind of forgot how to do this. Hey everyone, welcome back. I feel like I've started out my past few videos now apologizing for not posting for an extended period of time, so maybe I'll just stop doing that. I did promise though that I would do another book giveaway in my next video, so that's what I will start out with. This time around I am giving away a book called Sometimes Therapy is Awkward. I hope whoever receives this doesn't mind that I read it first. But I am giving it away because I loved this. I thought it was so honest, so real. I think it's perfect, especially for those maybe just starting out. And I actually didn't think about what I was gonna do for entering the giveaway, so let me just think about this real quick. How about this time around, let's do something even more fun. If you would like to be entered into this book giveaway, please comment down below what first got you interested in the therapy or counseling field. July 1st, I will go through all of the comments, do the random drawing like I did last time, and we'll get this mailed out to you. So thank you everyone who enters. I really hope you enjoyed the book as much as I did. Okay, now actually getting into the topic of today's video. I know I've gotten a lot of comments on my previous one about the transition from school counseling to mental health counseling and what that was like. So today I'm spending the whole video talking about that and what I have noticed as differences between the two. Even though they are both counseling, there are some major differences that I have picked up on since making that transition. So let's get into it. So as I mentioned in my previous video, a big reason why I made the switch is because I realized that school counseling did not have as much actual counseling in it as I would have liked. So that is definitely the number one difference that I've noticed. I am doing 100% counseling 100% of the time, and I find that that's a lot more enjoyable for me personally, although I think everyone's style and what they're looking for is different. So that brings me to the next major difference between school counseling and mental health counseling. So in the mental health counseling field, you really have to get adjusted to thinking of things in terms of what they call billable hours. So basically, any hours you spend doing a service that you can bill someone or bill an insurance company for, whether that's actual individual therapy, family therapy, or just case management. Each agency is a little different in their expectations for how much they want from you as far as this goes. I would say most average around somewhere 5 hours a day of billable hours. I think this is a big difference from school counseling because school counseling was more, you just kind of show up for the day. It's always like 7:30 to 3:30 or 8 to 4, something like that. And it's basically whatever comes your way for the day. There might be certain things planned, maybe you're doing a certain lesson plan in classrooms or something like that. But other than that, there may be really slow days where pretty much no one comes into your office. And then on the other end, there may be days where students are coming into your office back to back. Kind of brings me to my next point. I found that in mental health counseling, my days are a lot more predictable. I'm able to see my schedule ahead of time. Depending on the agency you work for, you also may be able to set your own schedule, which is really nice. And basically going into any given day or any given week, I can see exactly which hours I'll be working, which hours I will have a little break. Versus in school counseling, it was pretty much completely unpredictable what was going to come up for your day. So if you are someone that likes your days to be a little more structured or more predictable and you don't really like the uncertainty, mental health counseling may be a little bit more of a better fit for you. The next major difference I noticed between school counseling and mental health counseling is that the interventions are a lot different in terms of what you are trying to do for your end goal. Basically, as a school counselor, you are trained to be a little more brief and solution focused in your approach. Basically, how can I help this student get back to class and fully functioning as efficiently and quickly as possible? And if that isn't possible, how can I get them the help they need as quickly as possible? So basically a lot more short-term based interventions versus mental health counseling. You're really focusing more on those long-term interventions, those lifelong coping skills and mechanisms that they can use for the rest of their lives. Next major difference that I noticed, for whatever reason, I feel that I get a lot more respect as a mental health therapist than I did as a school counselor. As I mentioned in my previous video, as a school counselor, I got spoken to by parents the most meanly I've probably ever been spoken to in my life over very trivial things. Maybe their child didn't get the elective that they had wanted as their first pick and I couldn't fit them into the class because of class sizes or pressure from different teachers or administration. We took a lot of that on. Again, that goes back to something I mentioned in my previous video. You really want to make sure that you do your research, and whatever school you'll be joining has a really, really supportive administration, and make sure that they are helping you with those sort of things and those sort of conflicts conflicts that may come up. But there are lots of school counselors out there that have the training necessary to be a mental health therapist, so it is so strange to me that one seems to get a little more respect than the other. I think that's crazy. And the final difference I have noticed between the two is I feel like I have experienced feelings of struggling to maintain self-care or prevent burnout a lot more as a mental health counselor than a school counselor. But I do think now that I've transitioned to mental health counseling full-time, it did really make me realize the importance of taking care of yourself and preventing burnout, because if you are burnt out and just emotionally drained or exhausted or not taking care of yourself, how can you help others take care of themselves or train them to use coping skills that you yourself aren't really using? Okay, my phone just died and then my ring light and tripod fell over, so I know this is definitely not the same camera angle as before, but anyways, I'll continue. But if you are considering making a transition from school to mental health counseling, definitely work on that skill for yourself and incorporating some sort of good self-care routine for yourself, because you will need that. I also noticed on my previous video, I've gotten a lot of comments asking me how exactly I made the transition, and I think this may be something I've only talked about once or twice in my videos before, but essentially I attended the University of Arizona for my master's degree, and their master's in counseling program actually has a dual specialty. So they had a school counseling specialty and then mental health and rehabilitation, and you did have to choose one or the other before entering the program. I did choose school counseling. Luckily, they overlapped the classes enough that everything works out, and that was a big reason that I actually chose the program. So it sounds kind of weird, but school counselors who picked that concentration could pursue licensure as a mental health counselor. However, the mental health counseling side could not pursue licensure or certification as a school counselor. So I really wanted to have that flexibility to choose. Even though I chose to specialize in school counseling, we did still have to do mental health practicum hours and take the specific mental health courses needed for licensure, like diagnosing and assessment and those sorts of things. So luckily I was able to still pursue licensure, and that was a big part of why I chose the program in the first place, because I knew that would be a possibility for me no matter which concentration I chose. So maybe this is a good time for me to give that to you as a word of advice. If you are on the fence at all about if you want to specialize in school counseling or mental health counseling, definitely look into programs that offer that dual concentration and ability for you to pursue mental health licensure, even if you are doing a school-based program. Before I wrap up today's video, I do also want to give another quick shout out to College Essay Guy, who I mentioned in my previous video. They have so many awesome resources available, both for students and for counselors themselves, on how to help students. As always, I will leave the link down below so you can check out those resources. I've also left a couple of codes for you to enter if you are interested, so you can get an extra discount. I think that's all I have for today. Those are the major differences that I've noticed just in the time that I have transitioned to being a full-time mental health therapist in comparison to being a school counselor. Now that I'm back posting more regularly, I am working my hardest to make my way through all the comments and answering any questions you guys may have. Thank you guys so much for watching and for all of your comments, and I will see you guys next time.